Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Lexington High School. I am Brian Harter, along with Gregg Collins. We're here for the 43rd Annual News Journal All-Star Game. This is a game that started back in 1979 as a medical fundraising effort for a little girl whose neighbor used to work at the News Journal. His name was Bob Sherwin. In 1980, the Rehab Center became the game's beneficiary and remains so today, although now they are known as Catalyst Life Services. This has been a very special relationship between North Central Ohio and the News Journal and area high schools. And this is one of the few all-star games that I have seen that really is that collaborative effort.
Right. And in recent years, John Spencer just did an absolute great job of promoting it, of organizing it. Now he's passed that on to Jake Furr, and Jake has done a great job in a difficult time to get this done. And you have to give all the credit to the News Journal and especially to Jake and John Spencer in the past.
John Spencer this was his baby. This was something that he looked forward to every year.
Yep.
The game was always special. There was always a special highlight or a special performance. And for me, I was an assistant on Roy Shoulder's staff at St. Peter's back in 1995, and we had the privilege of coaching in this game, so I got to see it up close. And the relationship between those kids, now, unfortunately, we're not going to have those kids this year. Normally what they do during the pregame, they'll introduce the players. The players will go over, hand something from their school to one of the kids from Catalyst, and that's a special moment for those kids. We won't have that, unfortunately, this year, but that was something that really stuck out for me. You also had the opportunity as a head coach when you were here at Lexington to coach in this game.
Well, you're right, but and to add what you're saying, what you said is totally accurate, but to add to that, for the game itself, it was nice as a coach to be able to really have time to talk with some players that you had to game plan against during the season. You had 3 practices, a chance to be with them and find out a little bit about them. Let's make no mistake about this. I mean, during the regular season, coaches, it's about X's and O's and a little bit about the players. Tonight it's all about the Jimmy and Joes. It's going to be all players. Yeah, they've had 3 practices, but very little structure has been put into that. It's really just going to be players playing and, which players are going to come out and play the best tonight.
Well, you use the word practice, and we use that term loosely because we were here this week, and it basically was scrimmages, and you're watching some of the best players from North Central Ohio come out and have the opportunity, as you said, and these were also players who every year were going against each other. Now they get to suit up and play with them. And it's really a special time for the players as well. And you could sense that watching them practice against each other.
Yeah, but you can also sense there was a little bit of competition going on. I mean, these are competitive kids. You have to have a competitive streak in you to have the success that these kids had individually. And so many of them came from teams that have had great success this year and in years past. The only set play that I noticed in practice was which you'll see quite often in these all-star games, was a set play that the North put in for a lob for a dunk. And, hopefully that's going to go through today. But besides that, again, it's just going to be players playing, a lot of transition, probably no need for a shot clock tonight.
No, and you've been calling for that all season long, and yes, you're not going to have any need because shots are going to go up in fast and furious fashion. And you talked about the players. One of the most exciting players in North Central Ohio this year was TJ Pugh from Shelby, and Brian Skowronski is down at courtside, and he's got TJ with him now.
All right, thank you, guys. I got TJ Pugh with me now. My pick for MVP tonight, I really feel like this type of environment is going to favor your style of play. How excited are you to play kind of in an open game environment where you can pretty much do some one-on-one stuff and set up your teammates?
Well, I've been playing ball like this all my life, just at parks and stuff, open gyms. It's the best kind of basketball to me. In the summer, I love playing like this. It's so fun because you're just so free and there's nobody yelling at you. You're just playing ball.
and I seen that you were in the dunk line. You threw down a couple of nice ones, but there's also some other high risers here in the building. Do you feel like you're the best dunker in tonight's game, though?
I wouldn't say that. I'm probably second best behind South Central kid. He's got bounce, so probably second, yeah.
And then just tell me about getting to play with a couple of your teammates one last time, and then also your coaching staff being familiar and just how special it is to have all that going for you tonight.
It's awesome. I mean, obviously this is probably my last game as a high schooler with Cody and Vern and Coach Loney. You know, it's going to be fun.
All right, looking forward to it. Yep. We're now going to send it over to Travis, standing by. He's got one of the North players.
I'm here with Griffin Shaver from Ontario, 1,000-point scorer. First off, just how's it feel to be in the News Journal All-Star game?
I mean, it's awesome. To be able to play with all the local greats in our area, and for the last time, I mean, it's just special.
You guys had a good run for 4 years at Ontario under Coach Baylog. Just, you know, starting as a freshman to getting to now, just to talk about your career in total in high school.
Yeah, so, I mean, I came in undersized. I'm still a little undersized, but I came in, I wasn't really expecting much. I put all my days in. I worked hard, and Coach Baylog noticed that. He gave me an opportunity, and like he said, I took that and ran. So that coming from Coach Baylog, an all-time great, I mean, it's a little weird saying it now knowing that he'll never be on the court again, but hearing that from an all-time great, I mean, that really does it.
Yeah, you know, being part of Coach Baylog's final 4 years of his career, going out with 598 wins, just do you have a message for Coach Baylog as he, you know, retires from basketball?
I know Coach Baylog won't care about this, the 5.6 or the 598. I mean, just go back and get those too. But I mean, he won't care about that. But all said, Coach Baylog's a great coach, awesome. I mean, a better guy. Coach Baylog's a guy I feel like I can talk about anything with, and that's just awesome when you're able to build a coach-player bond like that. It's just something that I'll have for the rest of my life. And Coach Baylog's a man that I can always see myself down the road as I age, a man that would just be there.
And finally, what are your expectations for the game tonight?
I know my uncle Brett Capel has well, I guess he lost it, but he got 26 and a half. So maybe I'll try to beat that tonight.
All right, Griffin Shaver looking for the record. I'm going to send it over to you, Brian.
All right, I've got Eli White with me now from the Ashland Arrows, and obviously there's a lot of great players out here. Tell me about this week for you and what it's been like getting the opportunity to play one last high school game and with some new teammates.
Yeah, it's been really fun, and we got, like you said, we have a lot of talented guys on this team, and I'm just looking to have a really good time, and I think it'll be a fun night.
Yeah, defense usually comes at a bit of a premium in tonight's game. What would you guys say your strategy is? Because Coach Loney was telling me 7 seconds or less pretty much every shot, right?
Yeah, we want to play really fast, push the tempo, and yeah, shoot it in the basically first 2 or 3 passes of the possession. We're going to look to put up a lot of points, and that's how we're going to play, and it's going to be fun.
I know that MVP is something that pretty much every player is gunning for. Are you going to come out and try to get some for you, like right away, and then you put yourself in the conversation?
I mean, whatever happens, happens. I'm not too worried about that. It's not a big deal, but if they choose me, so be it.
All right, man. Well, looking forward to watching you play, and have fun tonight.
Thanks.
All right, Eli White with Ashland. Send it back over to Travis. Standing by right now, looks like he's got Brady Tedrow.
I'm over here now with Clear Fork's Brady Tedrow. Brady, congratulations on first all making the News Journal All-Star game. But, you know, at Clear Fork, the last few years, it seems like the basketball team's turned it around to getting your winning ways now.
Yeah, we have a lot of credit to our coach, and just the way that we work every day in practice has translated onto the floor.
Playing into the game tonight, what are your expectations going into it?
Oh, I expect a W, but I think it'll be a lot of fun. A lot of great athletes from around Richland County are playing. So,
you know, like you just said, there's a lot of good talent from Richland County playing. Who are you most excited outside of, you know, the conference maybe you'd be playing with tonight?
Definitely David Lamoureux. We played together as AAU teammates for years, so it'll be fun to play with him.
All right, congratulations on making the tournament, and send it over to Brian with Riley Gossam.
All right, Riley Gossam is joining me now from the Lucas Cubs, and I was just telling you, man, it looks like you got a little bit of lift to your jumper right now. Tell me about the process over the last couple of months, getting yourself back to where it looks like you can probably play a little bit of basketball.
I'm just doing physical therapy 3 days a week and doing stuff with the trainer the other days, but I'm just pushing myself to get back to where I was before, and right now that's the main goal.
Getting the opportunity to play in this game, not just as an all-star, but with 2 other members of your team, how special is this for you?
It's awesome. We had our, we've been playing together since we were in 2nd grade or whatever, and so, senior season was kind of what we were all looking forward to, and, that kind of didn't happen the way we all expected, but, we got one last game together, and I'm looking forward to it.
Do you have an individual game plan for yourself tonight where you're trying to get on a specific spot on the floor, or are you just going to let it flow?
Oh, we're just letting it flow. We're just letting them fly from all over the place tonight.
And I hear you're going to be trying to put up shots like pretty quick. Is that correct?
Yeah, 7 seconds or less. That's the game plan.
Looking forward to it. It should be an exciting brand of basketball. Thanks for joining us, man. All right, looks like we'll send it back up. Brian Harter, Gregg Collins, take it away, boys.
Thanks a lot, Brian. And first of all, before we go any farther, congratulations to Brian Skowronski. Today is his birthday.
Yep.
And I know he doesn't look 50, but he wears it pretty well.
Well, he wears it a lot better than I do, huh? But, yeah, he's an old man right now, huh?
I know. Actually, he's 36.
But this business really ages you quick.
Well, it was funny listening to these players talk about how fast they want to look to get points up. I happened to watch the movies Hoosiers last night.
Right.
And if you remember the whole, we're going to pass the ball 4 times before we shoot.
Right.
That's not going to be the strategy tonight.
No. And, Brian, every game we always have keys to the game. And tonight I think the number 1 key is don't take the ball out of bounds because you're probably not going to get it back. So, and I used to always tell my players that when they came to an all-star game and even sometimes in AAU programs, don't be the guy that takes it out of bounds because then you'll never see it. But it's going to be exciting, trying to shoot every 7 seconds. It kind of reminds me of, remember the days of Loyola Marymount?
Oh, yeah.
When they used to just get up and down the court. And, I believe one of those years in the tournament they played maybe the Fab Five, or maybe it was right after or before the Fab Five. I know you're a Michigan fan, but if they didn't score 120, 125 points, it was a bad day. Well, tonight you think both teams are going to be over 100. It's just how much over 100.
Well, if you're one of these purists in baseball who likes to watch a good pitcher's duel and you see good defense and you translate that to basketball, if you want to see pressing and all of that, you're not going to like this game. This game is about offense.
Well, it is, and these kids, as good as they are, and let's go back, the 5 kids that were interviewed, wouldn't you love to have a team of those 5 kids?
Oh,
boy. And, they would be no post players, but in today's game, that's fine. Trying to defend 5 perimeter players, all that can score, all that can shoot, and, yeah, they can also defend. That would be a heck of a team. But all these players, as good as they are, they all had roles. It wasn't like they were just come over half court and throw the ball up. They had areas where their coaches said, yeah, this is where we want to get you shots. This is how we'll try to get you shots. Well, tonight, there really isn't any rules. You're going to see some shots. Kids are going to take some shots tonight that maybe they didn't take during the season, as good as they are. And you're going to see some kids that are really going to push for the MVP award. And as Schaefer said, 26 points and a half his uncle had.
Yeah.
Boy, that's a tall order.
Well, you talked about the 6 players that were down there and how nice it would be to have, one of those guys. I've got another one down here at half court with Brian Skowronski. It's Evan Hamilton from Crestview, and we're going to send it down to him now.
All right, Evan Hamilton is joining me now down here at center court, and obviously a really cool experience to be part of this all-star event. What does it mean to you to be selected to play in this game?
It means a lot. We have a lot of good players here, and they're putting on a show throwing these dunks down.
So where do you feel like you fit into that? Obviously, you're not one of the big guys that can probably throw it down like crazy. Are you going to try to feed some of these dudes, or what's your game plan?
I'd like to throw some oops and just put some cool moves on and get some nice layups in.
And I heard at the scrimmages last night, it didn't really go your guys' way very well. South kind of had the run of play. Do you feel like you're going to reverse your fortunes tonight, and if so, how?
We just got to play faster, I think, and we're good that way.
Well, I know their game plan is 7 seconds or left. They're trying to get up shots. Are you guys going to be a little bit more methodical, or are you running gunning as well?
I think we're going to run and gun also.
All right, guys, so expect a ton of points tonight. Can't wait. Thanks, Evan. Back up to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Brian. Thanks a lot, Evan. And there's another player that, you talk about that you could build a team around and get a lot of offense. I'm going to go one better. We've got 12 players playing in this game tonight that have gone over 1,000 points for their career. So we're going to tell you who those 12 are, and we're going to let you decide what 1, 2, 3 of these players that you would form your squad around if you had an opportunity.
Yeah, well, I tell you, you could pick any of them, and you look at Evan Hamilton here, and what a great job they did. John Kurtz did, and the players did this year at Ashland Crestview. Just turned around, had a great season, and you're also talking about a man that, young man that was all Ohio as a football player, and we have a few players out here tonight that are outstanding basketball players and also other sports.
So I take a look at this lineup here, and the player that really jumps out at me, and we saw him at the end of the tournament season, was TJ Pugh.
Well, and we saw in probably the biggest game of the year against Lima Shawnee where Shelby fell just short, but Pugh did everything he could, and Lima Shawnee did not have an answer for him. He was just so much more athletic. He was so much more skilled handling the basketball. He was able to get into the lane against a box and one, against a zone and a man that was just all trying to stop his dribble penetration. They couldn't do it, and his pull-up jumpers were on that night. So, yeah, whatever school he decides to go, I think he's going to be successful at the next level.
And probably the most intriguing player on this list is a guy who didn't play at all this year, is Riley Gossam. What a wonderful story, and it's good to see that he at least is going to get some playing time tonight.
Yeah, and I think actually, and I put Riley on there, and I think actually Riley was just a little short of 1,000 points, but that's because he had limited playing this past season. But just think, if he was able to play this year, obviously last year they had a great season, his junior season. He set the record for most points in a season for Lucas. But just think if this year he and Ethan Sauter could have gotten together as well as the other players, their offense would have been even more potent. It wasn't the greatest offense in the world. Their defense was outstanding, but he would have added to that offense a big time.
So these are the players, and we're going to have the starting lineups here coming up in a few minutes. Let's now talk about the coaches, and we're going to go back down courtside with Brian Skowronski, who is joining the head coach for the South team in Nathan Loney.
Thanks, guys. I'm courtside now with the South Side head coach, Nathan Loney, joining me. And, this obviously is such a unique opportunity for all these kids, seniors that have been going against each other, a lot of them since they were little, now teaming up and for the greater cause. Tell me about your experience over the last several days getting to work with these kids and try to get them ready for a game when they've really only been teammates for a few hours.
It's been a great experience. A lot of our kids know each other. We play between playing AAU and just being close in the area. So, TJ's played with quite a few of them along with Cody, and that makes it a lot easier. Chemistry come pretty good between all of them. All the kids get along pretty well. So, for the most part, I think our team chemistry is pretty good.
Yeah, you have all three of the Shelby Whippets, and then you have 3 Lucas Cubs as well. So I imagine continuity may be a little bit of ahead of the competition.
Yeah, absolutely. When you add those 3 kids from Lucas in there, Taylor does a great job with them, and they're great kids. They're very respectable and come in, yes sir, no sir. They listen when you talk, look you in the eyes, and that means a lot with me. That goes a long ways. Those are things I preach at Shelby, and anytime you have kids that come in and do that, it says a lot about them. And they come in and they play the game right. They know how to play the game, and it's nice when you mix kids together like that, and it makes things easy.
Yeah, and I imagine not going to be a whole lot of half-court sets going down tonight, are there, Coach?
No, not at all. That's what I was just telling you. I told the kids before the game, or last night at practice, that my only rule was I want a shot in 7 seconds. I didn't care who it was or what it was. I wanted a shot in 7 seconds, and let's keep it fun.
All right, so we should be expecting a whole lot of points from the South Side tonight. They did scrimmage the North last night and beat them all 5 games. We'll see if that stands true when they actually take the floor. Back up to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Brian. Now on the other side, the North All-Stars, their head coach is Willard Joe Bedingfield, and he's in his 4th season up at Willard, and he's really done a nice job of turning that program around. Let's go back down courtside with Joe Bedingfield, and here's Travis Berardi.
Down here courtside with North head coach Joe Bedingfield. Coach, you had the opportunity to coach last year in this game. It got canceled due to COVID, but, they brought you back this year because of a good season. Just first thoughts on coaching in the News Journal All-Star game.
It's been a fun week, getting to know some of the kids that you go against all year and watching them play. And it's kind of nice to see, them all kind of come together and kids be back on the court and get an opportunity to finish up their high school careers. With some of their friends with AAU and social media. A lot of these guys know each other, and it should be a fun night, and we're so excited to be a part of it.
4 years at Willard, 68 wins. The last 3 years, 20+, 19, 3 straight Sandusky Bay Conference championships. It seems like you're turning the ways of Willard basketball back to the ways they had in the 90s when they went to regionals and state.
Yeah, we've had really good classes, and a lot of special players that have done a lot of that. It's a great senior group. A group before them, 2 special players, Terry and Cooper, and then, Brevin Polachek, Devon, Jarrett Sowers, and Joey Holiday, and just a lot of good kids that really bought into what we're doing. And, I just think that, still got a lot of work to do, in the next couple of years, trying to replace these senior class. Been pretty special with us, been together for 4 years with 2 of these guys that are playing tonight, and, we just hope to keep on going in the right direction.
Now, going back to this game, you picked your team. Who do you like the most out of the guys that you've drafted for the North squad?
Oh, that's a tough one, because they're all here for a reason. Obviously, a little bit of, I'll give you one that's special to me is Dave Lamoureux special because I coached him for 2 years in junior high at South Central. So it's just kind of nice to, have the opportunity to, coach in his last high school game, even though it's an all-star game or whatever, just to be reacquainted with him for a week of practice. And he's still a special kid to me. But, in terms of talent, they're all talented. They all have their abilities, and just like every other high school all-star is, they can all do a lot of things with the ball and without the ball. So it's a special group of kids.
And it's got to be special. You have a couple of your own players playing on the court tonight, too. You get one more time to see them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Austin and Miles, and like I said, that senior class, I wish all of them could be here. But, yeah, they had a great senior years, and just kind of play another game with them is special as well.
All right, Coach, congratulations on getting the gig one more year, and good luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
Send it back up to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Travis. And last and certainly not least, this game would not be what it is without the support of the generous sponsors that make this game possible throughout North Central Ohio. And they are Spherion, Charter Next Generation Incorporated, School Specialty, Whitaker Myers Wealth Managers, the Mansfield News Journal, Strategic Turf Systems Incorporated, Stone Ridge Incorporated, Amcrete LLC, My Floors, JJ's Pizza, Callahan Doors and Windows, Warren Rupp Incorporated, Crossroads Community Church, Ontario Family Chiropractic, and BCU Electric Incorporated. We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back with the rest of our pregame and the lineups. It's the 43rd News Journal All-Star Game coming up right after this.
No paywalls, just live sports, exclusively on the OH Report.
We are back at the 43rd Annual News Journal All-Star Game. We're going to turn it over now to the public address announcer, Eric Grove, who will have the lineups for both squads.
Over 42 years that we've been doing this. We've raised over $1 million for Catalyst-like services in the Children's Rehab Center. So I just want to thank you for being a part of that this year, and especially our sponsors who gave everything they possibly could to this game to even make it happen. So just want to thank those sponsors as well, and just thank all of you guys for being here and allowing your kids to play in this game. Just getting to know them over this week has been a real privilege, getting to know the coaches and stuff. So thank you very much for coming out, and hope they put on a show for you guys.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we live in a great country with freedoms like no other. At this time, we ask that you please rise as Mr. Aiden Chandler from Ashland High School will sing our national anthem, The Star-Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Well done, young man.
Yes, nice job.
Well, they're just about a couple seconds away now from introducing the lineups. That was Jake Furr that you heard talking in the red. They are going to go down now, and they're going to introduce the officials for tonight's game. We'll turn it over to Eric Grove.
And JT Reese, who played in the game in 1994, coached in the game, and played in the alumni game in 2013, and now will officiate tonight's game. The only person in Classic history to do so. Ladies and gentlemen, the officials for tonight's contest. And now, tonight's players in alternating order. First, representing the South, he's a two-time Mid-Ohio Athletic Conference Player of the Year and was named First Team Our-Northwest District. District 6 MMOAC is a senior this year. He averaged 24.8 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3.1 steals a game, as the second leading scorer in program history with more than 1,500 points. Number 0, Shelby's T.J. Pugh. For the North, he's a second team All-Northwest District, District 6, and first team All-Sandusky Bay Conference player during his senior season. He scored 14 points and added 8.5 rebounds a game for the SBC champs. He collected more than 750 points and 600 rebounds in his career. Number 1, Willards Miles Pinkston. Next, for the South, he's a second team All-Northwest District, first team District 6, and first team All-MOAC player. He scored 16.1 points and added 4.8 rebounds and 3-point assists a game this season. He led his team to the Division II District Championship for the first time in 22 years. Number 1, Shelby's Cody Lance. For the North, he was the number 1 pick in the News Journal Classic Player Draft. He's a third-team All-Northwest District after scoring 14.3 points and adding 45 rebounds a game while leading his team to an undefeated regular season, and he's been a part of 83 wins during his basketball career. He was the Northern 10 Conference and Northwest District Defensive Player of the Year in football. Number 2, Colonel Crawford's Chase Walker. Next for the South, he scored 7 points and added 3 rebounds a game while running the point for his MOAC championship team. He led his squad to back-to-back outright league championships for the first time since 1957. Number 2, Shelby's Grant Hyatt. For the North, he was a third-team All-Northwest District player as a senior, averaging 16.1 points a game. Also a second-team District 6 and first-team Mid-Buckeye Conference player. Following his father's footsteps as a classic player, number 4, Crestline's Brock Noblet. For the South, he scored 7 points and added 5 rebounds a game as a senior. He was awarded the Gordon Shipley Award for Perseverance in 2019 and 20. Following his brother's footsteps as a classic player, number 3, Clear Forks, Ben Blueball. For the North, he was an honorable mention All-Northwest District player as a senior after averaging 12 points and 6 rebounds a game. Part of 3 consecutive league championships, on a district runner-up and 1 district championship. Number 5, Willards Austin Adelman. For the South, he was a second-team All-Northwest District, first-team District 6 and first-team Ohio Cardinal Conference player. As a senior, he averaged 17 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists a game, helping his team to 17 regular season wins. He was the number 2 overall pick in the News Journal Classic Player Draft and follows his footsteps as a classic player. Number 4, Ashland's Eli White. For the North, he was an honorable mention All-Ohio Conference player as a senior after scoring 9.6 points a game. Number 6, Madison's Luke Pruitt. For the South, he was a first-team All-Northwest District, District 6 and Mid-Buckeye Conference Player of the Year. He scored 14.1 points, added 4.1 assists and 4.1 rebounds a game. He holds the single season, and career record for assists at his school, and is the only player in school history to score 1,000 career points in basketball and run for 1,000 yards in football. Number 5, Lucas's Ethan Souter. For the North, he was a first-team All-Northwest District, District 6 and Firelands Conference player as a senior. He scored 18 points and grabbed 9.6 rebounds a game, and he's in the 1,000 career point scorer at his school. He led his team to the Division IV District Championship in 2019. He was a first-team All-Ohio football player as a junior. Number 8, South Central's David Lummerow. For the South, he scored 5.8 points and added 2.1 assists and 2.3 rebounds a game while embracing the defensive role for his team. Number 6, from Ontario, Zach McChrystal. For the North, he scored 9 points and added 7 rebounds a game, earning him honorable mention, all District 11 honors. Number 12, Northmore's Cooper Keene. For the South, he scored 19.1 points, added 2.6 assists a game during his senior season, earning him first team All-District 4 in Mid-Ohio Buckeye Conference. Scored more than 1,400 points during his career while shooting 94% from the free throw line. Number 10, Loudonville's Jacob Gessner. For the North, he was an honorable mention All-Northwest District and second team All-MOAC player after scoring 10 points and adding 2.7 rebounds a game as a senior. Number 20, Ontario's Colton Kurtz. For the South, he was an honorable mention All-Northwest District and second team All-District 6 and All-Ohio Cardinal Conference player. As a senior, averaging 13 points and 3 assists a game. Number 11, representing Mansfield Senior, Shad Creamer. For the North, he was a second team All-Northwest District, first team All-District 6, and first team All-Firelands Conference player. As a senior, after scoring 19 points and added 6 rebounds and 3 assists a game. He became just the third player in program's history to score 1,000 points. Was an All-Ohio football player this fall, breaking nearly every receiving record in the program. Number 23, Crestview's Evan Hamilton. And for the South, as a junior, he scored 21 points and added 7 7-point rebounds per game, all breaking the program's single season scoring record with 566 points. He was a special mention All-Ohio and second team All-Northwest District and a first team All-District 6 and first team All-Mid-Buckeye Conference player in 2019 and 2020. Number 12, Lucas's Riley Gossam. For the North, he scored 11 points and added 2.5 assists as a senior, earning all Fireland Conference and District 6 honors. Number 24, Crestview's Evan Gibbs. He scored 6.3 points and added 3.6 assists, this South player did, and he's 3 rebounds a game as a senior, earning him honorable mention All-Northwest District honors. Number 13, Buckeye Central's Tyler Rose. For the North, he earned a first-team All-Northwest District, District 6, and Mid-Ohio Athletic Conference honors after scoring 15.5 points and adding 5.4 rebounds and 4.3 assists games as a senior. He's the number 2 all-time scorer in program history at his school, and he's signed to play college football at Ashland University. Number 31, to honor his mother, Ontario's Griffin Shaver. For the South, he's an honorable mention All-Northwest District player, and as a senior after scoring 14.2 points and added 7.7 rebounds a game. Number 15, Mansfield Christian's Logan Cyphers. For the North, he scored 10 points and grabbed 7.3 rebounds a night as a senior, earning him honorable mention All-Northwest District honors. Number 35, Buckeye Central's Brady Kirshner. Representing the South, he scored 5 points and added 6 rebounds and 3 blocked shots a game as a senior, earning him honorable mention All-Ohio Cardinal Conference honors. Number 20, from Mansfield Senior, D'Angelo Chapman. Representing the North, he averaged 7 points, 7.7 rebounds, and 2 blocks a game. As a senior, earning him all second team All Mid-Ohio Athletic Conference honors. Number 42, Clear Fork's Merritt Bergholder. For the South, he averaged 10 points and 6 rebounds a game, earning honorable mention All-Northwest District and first team All-Mid-Buckeye Conference honors. Led his team to its 3rd consecutive Mid-Buckeye Conference championship. It was a part of 2 district championships in basketball and 3 trips to the regionals in football. Number 21, Lucas's Ethan Goose Wallace. For the North, he scored 15.2 points and added 3.3 rebounds a game, earning him 3rd team All-Northwest District and first team All-MOAC honors as a senior. He was an All-Ohio football player in 2020. Number 45, Clear Fork's Brady Tedrow. For the South, he earned District 11 Players of the Year honors after scoring 19 points and adding 11 rebounds a game while scoring 1,000 career points. He was a first-team All-Ohio football after earning District Player of the Year honors in the Gridiron. He's also a 4-year letterman in baseball, earning 12 letters in all. Number 24, Cardington's Trey Brittinger. And for the South, he led his team to 13 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists tonight while earning MVP honors for the team and honorable mention all Northwest District honors. Number 31, St. Peter's Gavin Fultz.
Well, we are just a couple of minutes away from the opening tip-off, the North-South All-Star game here at Lexington. Brian Harter, Greg Collins, and let's talk about how these squads are selected. Starting back in 2005, they started a draft, and before that, they would pick the coaches from the North and the South, and then the teams would then be selected really based on geography.
Right.
Now they pick the coaches somewhat based on geography, but then the players, they can take whatever player they want. They don't even have to take all the players from – you can pick multiple players from a school, but
Right.
they don't have to all go on the same team.
Exactly. And, the difficult part of that is a coach is so much into his season, he doesn't get a chance to watch a lot of the players. But you're going to read about them, you're going to hear about them, and thus you're going to go on stats and those introductions, what an impressive group of people and statistics that they have.
The South All-Stars will be wearing the red jerseys. The North will be wearing the black. It'll be Mansfield seniors D'Angelo Chapman jumping up against David Lamoureux of South Central. Taking the shoulders, throws it up, and we are underway here at the 43rd Annual News Journal All-Star
And I
game.
wouldn't be surprised if they don't start off with a lob play here for a possible dunk opportunity. Here's the back screen, and the lob just not quite high enough, and that was their play. They call it slice. Just didn't work that time.
TJ Pugh's showing his defensive skills, and that's probably not something we're going to say much tonight.
No, but that's probably more passes right now than you're going to see from the Red squad tonight. That was like 5 passes. Didn't they talk about 3 passes or less?
I thought he said 2 passes or
2,
less,
yeah.
but
Well, it depends on who catches that second pass.
first shot of the game going up for Griffin Shaver from Ontario doesn't go. Eli White. And it seems like even the slow-paced team, they're trying to feel each other out. And as we talked about, they don't play together a lot. So this is something that they have to get used to.
You're right. Chemistry is not going to be a strong suit tonight. And we watched pregame, and I think 90% of it was kids dunking. So shooting a perimeter shot, they didn't warm up a lot on that. It was all getting the rim and dunking the basketball.
Eli White 0 for 2 from the perimeter early.
And we know he's a capable shooter. We saw him a couple of times this year on OH Report, and he just shoots the ball so well, passes the ball so well.
There's TJ Pugh driving in the lane. We saw that a lot from Shelby's Pugh, and neither team has scored as we're about a minute and a half into the ball game.
The number 1 pick in the draft gets the first points tonight on a nice Euro step inside the lane.
Chase Walker from Colonel Crawford, who had arguably one of their better regular seasons in school history.
Well, I tell you couldn't do much better than, 20-0?
Yeah. Chapman misfires from outside. Long pass up ahead to Walker. That's Willard's Pinkston, and another backside rebound pulled down by Pugh. Up ahead to Eli White, who slows it down. Sauter. Ethan Sauter from Lucas with a 3.
And Ethan Sauter, we saw them a couple of times. We saw them in the regional tournaments. Here's a young man that really was an assist man, a passer first, until this season with Riley going down, really had to score.
Pugh with the first dunk of the ball game and his first bucket.
And he's so strong in the open court. And here he is on the open court again.
Kicks it out to Eli White. 3 in the air, and he is 1 for 3 from behind the arc, and Eli White puts the South on top by 6.
That was a nice penetration by TJ and kick out to an open shooter. You know, I think the key tonight is guard the guy that's guarding you and somehow talk with him about, hey, you take it easy defensively and I'll take it easy defensively. You know?
Pugh with a wide open three, and he must have heard your strategy because nobody came out on Pugh in transition. 16:35 to go. They do play 2 20-minute halves, so that is something that the players have to get used to. And we were at practice yesterday. Here you see Pugh pulling up for 3. Talking with the assistant coach from Willard, Dave Hershey, and I looked over at him and I said, so are you going to be responsible for all the minutes that these guys get it?
Yeah.
And he laughed. He goes, I can't even pay my bills on time. Don't trust me with that responsibility.
Well, that probably is the biggest responsibility today. Right. Getting everybody in. Now, I'm going to ask you, Brian, and I'm not going to put you too much pressure here, but just think if you were a head coach of one of these teams, you have 16 players, and the AD said, all right, you got to get down to 10. Oh, that would be tough to do, 10 out of the 15, 16 that are on each team here.
Well, because you look at each of these players and the schools they represent, I mean, they're the best players from their teams. And
They are.
And so it would be hard to make that final decision, a cut, if you will.
Right.
As to who would play and who wouldn't.
And if this was a regular season, if this was a team, it would be tough to find minutes for everybody. Could this be number 2 in the dunk?
Well, he throws his second down. He was struggling in pregame, but it seems like he is a gamer when it comes to dunks.
Yeah. When the crowd's out here, it's a little bit different.
Lamoureux with a spinner off the block, and he's got a bucket.
And that was a nice pump fake right there because he got the defensive player to get off his feet, and that was D'Angelo Chapman, who is a shot blocker. Got him to get off his feet and was able to score.
Luke Pruitt from Madison with his first shot of the game doesn't go, but the rebound put back up and in by Lamoureux. It was interesting in a lot of these practices watching as you see Eli White shoot the 3, the respect that these players have for each other.
Oh, I'm sure. As I said earlier, they're competitive. They want to go at them, but I'm sure there's tremendous respect for each of them.
Kirshner with an offensive rebound that doesn't go, and here comes Pugh.
Nice.
Eli White with a reverse layup, but there's D'Angelo Chapman with an offensive rebound and his first bucket of the ball game, and the lead is now 15-6.
Now, we saw a couple of games, I think back to their big comeback and win against Lexington where Chapman hit a 3, but really his strong point is on the offensive boards.
Luke Pruitt from Madison gets a bucket in the lane. Yeah, D'Angelo Chapman was a guy who defensively was really valuable for the Tigers, and I remember Marquise Sykes, if we could just get a little more offense out of him because he could shoot the basketball. As you see the shot up and in by Ethan Sauter of Lucas. He's got a nice stroke for a big kid.
Well, not bad for a guy that, has a career assist record at Lucas.
Yes. Griffin Shaver from Ontario gets a 3.
Last time we saw Griffin Shafer against Norwalk, he just did not have any breathing room at all. Norwalk did just an outstanding job defending him, and they just had one player that had no help responsibility and was just glue on him. And, I'm sure he feels a lot better tonight having a little bit of space between him and the defense.
Wholesale substitutions for both teams.
There's a ball reversal. You're not going to see a lot of that tonight.
Adelman misfires. Shad Kramer from Mansfield Senior with the rebound. And he'll pull up for 3 at the other end. Ethan Wallace chases down the rebound. And it will come down to the north.
Oh, you don't want to leave him open.
Nope.
Got away that time.
Pruitt from Madison with another miss inside the lane. Ball out of bounds. It's going to stay at this end of the floor.
Luke Pruitt, I remember seeing him as a sophomore. He's really worked on his game over the last couple of years and turned out to have a good senior year for Madison.
Timeout on the floor. We'll take a break as well. It's 18-11, 13:45 to go in the first half.
paywalls, just live sports, exclusively on the OH Report.
.41 to go in the first half. South with an 18-13 lead. Cody Lance from Shelby launches a three that doesn't go. And he'll get a steal. Cody Lance, of course, part of that Shelby Whippets team that went to the regional semifinals and got beat by Lima Shawnee, a game you saw here on OH Report.
Shot over 40% from the perimeter this year, and he's going to continue his basketball down at Rio Grande, down in, what is that, Bob Evans territory?
Yep. Chad Kramer with a jumper from the elbow, and he pushes the South lead to 7.
And I really think we did a lot of Mansfield senior games this year, and that's probably Chad's best shot, the mid-range perimeter shot, which you don't see a lot of these days in basketball, but Chad Kramer does that off the dribble extremely well.
Thought about 3, takes it inside instead. He now has 4. Shad with a very quick first step. Griffin Shaver for 3.
That almost looked like from here a step back 3, and that was a tough shot. And he, of course, is going up to Ashland University for football. So
Kramer at the other end has it blocked by Pinkston. Up ahead to Luke Pruitt. And Pruitt. Pinkston with an offensive rebound. This is more of the pace that we expected in the beginning. Cyphers for 3.
Logan Cyphers is also a young man that I've known over the last couple of years, and he can knock down that perimeter shot.
Cyphers, of course, from Mansfield Christian. More substitutions from the north side in the ball game. We'll see Evan Hamilton from Crestview. Tell you what, there's a lot of good football talent on this floor as well.
There is. I noticed during introduction a lot of all-Ohio players, a lot of, there's a few, handful of 1,000-yard rushers.
Hamilton holds a lot of records at Crestview. While out of bounds, it will go back to the north. Hamilton just inside the three-point line, bounces around, hit about every point of the rim and drops in and makes it a 2-point ball game. And Kramer at the other end kicks it out to Lance, who thought about the 3. Now he'll put it up.
You know, I really miss the crowd in a game like this. You know, it's every year it's always a big, big crowd. They're always very noisy. Right now it's just a quiet gym as we've seen all year, and just not quite the same.
Offensive rebound by Blue Ball doesn't go. There's Kramer. Well, finally, it's going to be in by Ben Blue Ball from Clear Fork. Yeah, that Lima Shawnee Shelby game was probably the loudest game that we had seen all year, and you saw each school brought a student section,
right,
which really added a different element to the ball game.
Oh, it did. It was a good crowd that night and a nice close game. That was a great game for us to end our regular season on.
Hamilton with a deep 3, and the South is now on top by 1.
Well,
down by 1, excuse me.
Our hope is it's going to be a close game in the last 5-6 minutes, because then you're really going to see the kids' competitive juices come forward. They're going to want to win then. Right now, everybody's playing, having a good time, but if it's close near the end, we're going to see how competitive they are.
Well, and that's when you also see if someone's making a run at a big game offensively and an MVP, the coaches will opt to really leave that guy in there.
Yep, that That's true.
Timeout on the floor with 9:43 to go. We'll take a break. Oh, no, we're going to go down courtside with Brian Skowronski, and he's got one of the South players.
Got Ethan Sauter with me now. Tell me about kind of this pace. You guys that didn't really play this style at Lucas this season. What's it like getting up and down the floor, 7 seconds or less?
I mean, it feels good, obviously. Kind of like what we did last year. So coming out here with all these guys, it's fun to get up and down.
And if you could tell me about some of your new teammates, who were some guys that you were really excited you were going to get the opportunity to play with today?
I play AAU with Eli White. I'm excited to play against David and Merritt and Brady over there. They're also on my AAU team, so I'm just excited to be out here playing against all of them. So
getting to play with a couple of your teammates one last time, I imagine, got to be even more special.
Yeah, way special, especially see Riley out here playing. We didn't get to see him.
All right, thanks, Ethan. Appreciate you, man. Send it back up to Brian and Greg.
Thanks a lot, Brian and Ethan Sauter from the Lucas Cubs, and it has to be an adjustment for a player like him. As Brian talked about, they're not used to playing at this tempo.
No, he mentioned as a junior when they had a great success, they did play up-tempo, but this year, because of the makeup of the team, they were more of a half-court team, more of a defensive team, and I'm sure he's having a lot of fun on this day.
Brock Noblet from Crestline gets into the scoring column. North now up by 3. That's Grant Hyatt from Shelby, who was injured a lot this season. Finally was able to get in and get some playing time against Lima Shawnee. It would have been interesting to see how they would have played if they'd have had him at full strength.
Well, you're right.
We'd have given them one more offensive option.
Yeah, because we did not see him in the districts, and but he did play a little bit, but in the regionals. But you're right. He was a tremendous ball handler for him. I maybe you kind of call it the glue of that basketball team. Just another weapon that Shelby had on the court.
Saw Evan Hamilton get a bucket at the other end. 3 in the air by Jacob Gessner from Loudonville.
He's another, 1,000-point scorer, and he just catch and shoot. Good form. Here's another coach. We've talked about Joe Baylog that's retiring, but Kelly Sebo at Loudonville is giving up after all these years. Had great success. He's going to follow his daughters that are playing in college that are very good athletes.
Evan Hamilton misfired from outside. Ball out of bounds. It will go over to the south.
And here's Coach Baylog right there, who's retiring at the end of this season, and local basketball is going to miss him.
Yes, it was interesting to hear Griffin Shaver's comments about him, and that's the thing. As a former coach, you think about those players that you develop relationships with, and Joe has been around for a long time, and his Rolodex is probably pretty thick.
Yeah, I'm sure it is, and and just hearing from a lot of his players, they stay in contact with him, and they all knew it had to come at some time.
Hyatt with a bucket for the South. And for you young people out there, a Rolodex is actually a paper device that you put telephone numbers on.
Is it like my contact in my iPhone?
It is something like that.
Okay.
It's the hard copy version. Hyatt thought about the three. He'll put it up anyway. Offensive rebound up and in by Trey Breininger from Cardington, another outstanding football player who just one of these great athletes in North Central Ohio. It translates to both the gridiron and the basketball floor. And Evan Hamilton sinks a 3 from Crestview.
Nice ball movement this time. Nice rip and penetration to the paint.
Nice pass inside, and Foltz has it blocked out of bounds.
Is this the first foul of the night?
This might be the first official foul of the ball game. So it'll send Gavin Foltz from Mansfield St. Peter's to the free throw line.
The official standing at half court is an interesting story. Was a tremendous football player at Mansfield Senior, and Jalen here, who's running down the sideline right there. His father, JT, who's on the baseline. Jalen's just getting into officiating, and we are in need of officials at the high school level, and it's good to see somebody that
there you
was
see Dad.
Yeah, that Jalen was a very good basketball player, an outstanding football player that went and played a couple years at Toledo, back up.
There you see Noblet getting the layup. It's now 39-34 in favor of the North. Hyatt with a layup at the other end, so Hyatt putting on quite a display here in the first half.
I guess that wrist hand is feeling a little bit better.
It seems to be fine. In fact, he's not even wearing anything on it.
And you're right. They missed a healthy Hyatt in the Lima Shawnee game. I mean, they were so close as it is.
Yes.
Who knows what difference that would have made.
Hyatt for three.
Yeah, that's one thing. Shelby did not shoot the ball real well that night besides TJ, and he would have been, again, another weapon for them.
Brock Noblet for three. And teams starting to heat up now from the outside. It's 44-39, 5:23 to go in the first half.
And as you always think, when you start to heat up, here comes a sub for you.
As soon as we get an opportunity here, we're going to go back down and get another player interview. Cooper Keene from Northmore with a long three. He is not your typical post player. He played point guard for Northmore through most of the season, and there he strokes a three from long distance, and he loved every minute of it as he was running back down the floor. Now we're going to go back down courtside, I believe. Do we have him ready yet? Nope, not yet.
Well, then let's go back to Cooper Keene. We saw him a few times, and, yeah, he was the tallest player at 6'7" on the team for Northmore, but he also was a very good ball handler. And in the games that we saw early on, Northmore was getting pressured full court. They were getting trapped, and he did a great job of seeing over the trap, handling the basketball. And you're right, he can do a lot more than just go inside. He's also an outstanding track cross-country runner.
Brian Skowronski now standing by with Crestline's Brock Noblet.
All right, I've got the hot hand of Brock Noblet joining me now, and tell me, how did it feel to get into the flow of the game like that? You were pretty much flawless.
Felt good. Felt good. Definitely scoring the basket. It was nice.
And you guys take the lead here now. You got a decent-looking lead. Of course, this game's going to go back and forth, but how does it feel? Because I understand they kind of had the run of play yesterday in the scrimmages.
Yeah, it feels good because I think they won both scrimmages, and they were kind of up early. We kind of came back, took the lead, so it was nice.
All right, appreciate the time, Brock. Send it back up to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Brian. TJ Pugh now back into the lineup for the South.
Now, Brock Noblet's father played in this News Journal All-Star game. Rather unique.
Sauter from Lucas misfires, and McChrystal kicks it out. It's going to stay at this end of the floor. 4 minutes, 21 seconds to go in the first half. And the South on top, 47-39. I don't know what the over-under was on this game, but
I would say total of 230 points.
Eli White misfires from outside. Luke Pruitt from Madison pulls up for three. It doesn't go. And Eli White with a rebound, kicks it up ahead to McChrystal. Brady Tedrow from Lucas. Doesn't get it, but Luke Pruitt from the Rams of Madison does.
Luke Pruitt with a good follow, but Brady Tedrow, again, when we saw Clear Fork this year, I love the way he plays. He just plays with a hard-nosed type of player, did a lot of good things on the basketball court. and never back down. Never back down in the games. I saw him play against Shelby. I think we saw him, 2 other times maybe?
There's Tedrow on cue.
There you go. Thanks there, Brady.
Also in the game now for the South is Riley Gossam running down the near side. It is really good to see him on a basketball floor.
It is, and you just hope that, I'm not sure he's really running or limping down the sideline. I mean, I'm sure he's in a little bit of pain.
David Lamoureux goes up for the two-handed jam.
That might be the best jam. I mean, he was well above the rim on that one.
North now up 53-39. A 3 doesn't go, and there's 5 more black shirts now coming off the bench. And a tip up and in by Chase Walker from Colonel Crawford.
Again, the number 1 pick in the draft.
Ethan Sauter tried to use a screen, but
yeah, I think right now it's slowing down. It's not South one to get shots in 7 seconds. It took a little longer.
TJ Pugh misfires. There's a timeout called by the North as they want to get some personnel into the lineup or into the ball game with about 2:27 to go before halftime. The North on top, 55-39.
All right, now if you look at the scoreboard right now, we've played almost 18 minutes, and we have 1 team foul.
1 team foul.
It's the officials haven't any easy tonight.
Well, 1, they're letting them play, and 2, there's really not a whole lot of defense being played. 3 in the air is a misfire. We're going to go back down courtside with Brian Skowronski, who's standing by with Chase Walker from Colonel Crawford.
Chase Walker is joining me now courtside, and you guys are on a big tear right now. What do you think has sparked this run?
Just a bunch of threes, basically. We got a steal, and Lamoureux dunked it. It was pretty nice, and then so a bunch of threes.
And I know that you were the number 1 pick in this draft, so you've made some nice contributions. Just what's it been like being a part of this game so far in the action here for the first half?
It's unbelievable. Just being out here playing with everybody to your competition is crazy.
How do you like this breakneck style of play?
I like it. Just run. I like that. It's like AU basketball.
All right, Chase Walker, the number 1 pick. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Brian. Thanks a lot, Chase. This has to be a player's dream, and this is something that you do in the summers on the playground. You just go out and you run up and down the floor and you play. Nice drive and a finish by Brock Noblet from Crestline.
Now, we have to remember in the last 2 days of practice when the teams have scrimmaged with each other, the South has really had their way.
Yes.
But right now the North is having a great first half, but in a game like this, an 18-point lead is not enough.
And TJ Pugh has been unusually quiet. So they do have that. Eli White for 3. He misfires. And he's another guy who can give you points in bunches.
Exactly.
Cooper Keene from Northmore can't get it from the outside. Nice pass back inside. Noblet reverses.
That was a nice shot. You're right. Good rebound, good pass. Nice under the basket shot.
McChrystal. Gossam all alone for 3.
That's automatic.
Riley Gossam, he may not be able to run the way he used to, but that stroke is still there.
And his limited time in the regionals, we saw that same stroke where he brought Lucas back to make it. Actually, they took the lead in the early in the 4th period, if I remember.
Pugh will slow it down with 25 seconds to go. And he will drive in the lane, and he may argue he gets fouled as he's jawing up the floor with Cooper Keene, and they just laugh about it.
But that shows you the way he was able to split the hedge. That is good ball handling. He kept the basketball nice and low, able to get to the rim, just wasn't able to finish that time.
Offensive rebound by Gossam doesn't go, and that is going to do it. The first half in the books. And the North All-Stars with a 63-46 lead at the intermission will take a timeout. And we'll come back with our halftime right after this. You're watching the 43rd Annual News Journal All-Star Game exclusively on the OH Report. It is halftime. The North with a 63-46 lead at the 43rd Annual News Journal All-Star Game. And as we mentioned, this is a fundraising effort between the Mansfield News Journal and Catalyst Life Services. Brian Skowronski, before the ball game, was able to talk to the News Journal's Jake Furr. We think we have that interview here. We'll hold on 1 second.
All right, thanks, guys. I'm now down on the floor, and I've got the one and only Jake Furr from the Mansfield News Journal joining me. We're going to take a quick lap around and watch these guys get warmed up here, Jake. And, you know, this is your first time really putting this event together. Tell me what all went into this for you.
Oh, man, it was a lot of work. I gained a new respect, even more respect than I already had for John Spencer. But, man, this thing took a lot of effort, reaching out to all the coaches, just getting nominations, picking the players, getting their jerseys, getting their jersey numbers, getting the T-shirts, finding sponsors. Man, it was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun. And we had just had a full week of practice. So, I mean, I'll do it all over again tomorrow if I have to. It was fun.
What's so cool about this event is that it's far more than just basketball. I mean, that's why people come out here, of course, is they want to support these incredible athletes, but it goes well beyond that. Tell the folks at home what all is being supported through this cause.
So every dollar, every cent that we've made from this whole thing, from sponsors, ticket sales, everything, is being donated to the Children's Rehab Center at Catalyst Life Services. Right now we're sitting at $6,000, and that was before tickets are even sold. So hopefully after tonight we'll be able to hopefully get as close to $10,000 as possible. And all that money is going to go right towards kids that just need any kind of medical help, any services, any rehab services that they need, mental health, anything like that. It's going to go right to them, and so it kind of offsets their medical costs. Over 42, this is a 43rd year, but the 42nd game. Over 43 years, we've raised over $1 million with just in this game. So, like I said before, I'll do it all over again tomorrow just because of this. It's amazing.
Such a cool thing, and the fact that people are so charitable, so many sponsors contributing to tonight's event. So we thank each and every one of them for the monetary donations that they made to help make this happen. But at the end of the day, it is a basketball game, Jake, and you've been covering a lot of these kids throughout the entire year, as have I. Tell me about some of the combinations on both of these teams that gets you most excited. Who are some kids that you really want to see play together and or go against one another?
The one matchup that really sticks out to me, Griffin Shaver is going to be on the North team, and his teammate Zach McChrystal is going to be on the South team. And those two have battled all year long at practice. Zach McChrystal is one of the best defenders in Richland County by far. So I'm excited to see those two kind of have a little fun and D up a little bit. And then you got a guy like TJ Pugh who's going to be out here who could go D1 or high D2. He's going to do his thing in this game. He's teamed up with his teammate Cody Lance, and those two kind of dominated all year long. So just having those guys. But the one guy I'm really excited to see out here, Riley Gossam, just what he's been through this whole year. Was involved in a car accident, basically shattered his leg. His leg is mostly all metal now, but he's going to get up and down a few times and jack up some threes. So I was excited to get him in this game and just make sure he's honored the way he should have been.
Riley definitely has taken some big strides. Actually was a contributor for them in the regional game, as you saw the Lucas Cubs. He almost actually put them ahead there late in the contest. So that's definitely going to be someone who I'm really excited to watch. And, all these players out here, really unique situation for them to get to battle, go head-to-head, and get some new teammates. So we'll send it back up top to Brian and Gregg. Take it away, boys.
Thanks a lot, Brian. Thanks a lot, Jake. And I think I can speak for all of us here at OH Report. Jake, you have done an outstanding job of putting this game together. And I'd also like to take this opportunity, John Spencer, if you're watching this today, thank you for all of your years of putting this game together. And I know that you've given it to Jake in good hands. And he, unfortunately or fortunately, He's getting kind of the condensed version because they didn't have a banquet. They don't have the crowds that you would normally have, but it still has that feel of the News Journal All-Star Game.
And it means so much to the kids, and it means so much for the fundraising. It's, when you get a great cause like this and somebody that's going to work as hard as John did and now Jake, it's going to be a success.
So now as we look at the score, 63-46, as we mentioned toward the end of the first half, because of the caliber of players on this floor, we know that this can flip at any moment.
Well, yeah, for those that are concerned about the team score, you're right. You're right. We've seen games this year where we thought a 4 or 5 point lead was maybe insurmountable with the pace of the play. Well, tonight with the pace of the play, a 20-point lead. Right now it's down at 17. Any team can catch fire. Again, you have nothing but scores on both sides. If one team gets hot, if the South gets hot and the North goes cold, this could be back to an even game in a matter of 3-4 minutes, maybe even before that if you're talking about shooting every 7 seconds.
The North leads the all-time series 22-19, and again, the game wasn't played last year because of the coronavirus. They did pick squads.
Yep.
They just did not play the game last year.
Which is disappointing in a lot of fronts. Yeah, it's, not being able to get the funds for the fundraiser, but for the players, seniors look forward to this. Again, every senior that we've interviewed tonight, that Brian or Travis has interviewed, as talked about, it's so much fun. The pace of play is what they really enjoy. Being able to play loose like this where, the team score is not the biggest thing tonight. And being able to play against and play with some kids that you had to play against this season.
Well, and if you're also Joe Bedingfield and Nathan Loney, it's an opportunity for you to coach some of your players one last time.
Yeah, and that's tough. And I was going to bring that up when we were talking about the 1,000-point club. There's a lot of coaches that are going to cry a little bit come graduation when they see players that, as Schaefer said in Ontario, he worked hard. The head coach, Joe Baylog, saw that he was working hard, continued to work with him, and he ended up being just a star basketball player. These players have put in the time. They've put in the effort. They are players that it's tough when coaches have to see them graduate, and you hope that they're role models, that the kids coming up through their program are going to try to emulate these type of players.
So now, as we take a look at what has happened in the first half, are there any performances that jump out at you?
Well, I don't know if there was any one. At the beginning of the game, neither team was shooting the ball very well. Then they started shooting it well there lately, but it seems to be spread out. Nothing that I am overly excited about. What are your thoughts, Brian?
Well, as we take a look at the scoring for the first half, let's see, Brock Noblet had 17 points from Crestline, so we had an opportunity to talk to him, and that was an offensive performance that stood out. Evan Hamilton was in double figures with 12 from Crestline, and there was no one in double figures for the South. They had a lot more balance, and I guess maybe the biggest surprise for me is T.J. Pugh with a quiet 7.
Yeah. Now let's go back to Noblet. 17 points, and we're not keeping points up here, and you just said that. That's a quiet 17 right there. That's 17 points and a half is phenomenal. So that's obviously a great half right there offensively. But as you predicted in the first half, I would agree. I could see T.J. Pugh going out and having a more successful second half scoring the basketball.
They will go with their original starting lineups to start the second half. So T.J. Pugh is back on the floor.
Neither team shot well from the three-point line. 7 for 22 for the North, 7 of 26 for the South. They're good three-point shooters. They have open shots. But then again, for some of these kids, it's been, 3-4 weeks since they've played last?
Chad Kramer with his first miss of the second half. He actually will start. He did not start the ball game. Evan Hamilton launches from outside. 3 in the air, stepping right into it is Colton Kurtz from Ontario.
And we saw him in their loss against Norwalk. Colton Kurtz really did play well that game. Shot the ball well, and he really kept Ontario within striking distance.
Cody Lance had to laugh as his shot was blocked out of bounds. And you talked about how competitive these players are, but it's nice to also see them. There you see Lance pulling up from 3. They don't have that pressure on them, and they can go out and just relax. You miss a shot, it's not the end of the world.
No.
They can just go out and have some fun. T.J. Pugh with a block. Up ahead to Lance. How many times have we said that over the last 3 years?
And he does a nice Euro move. T.J. Pugh handles the ball so well and is a very good perimeter shooter. You forget how tall he is. So him getting a block shot inside is not unusual. He's got good height, and he's a good athlete.
He jumps very well, listed at 6'6". Colton Kurtz misfires from outside. Eli White off balance, gets the shot to go. Deficit now at 16 in favor of the North. Evan Hamilton.
And he had, as you mentioned, he had a good first half and continues here in the second.
Now with 14, Cody Lance from outside answers with a 3.
And that move right there is what you see so much more in basketball. Catch the ball maybe at 15 feet, but dribble out to 19-9 so you can get a 3.
And Adelman comes back at the other end. Pugh. And that's Cody Lance in the corner. And Lance now with a couple threes here at the beginning of the second half, and it's a 14-point game.
And that's something that T.J. Pugh does well. We saw this year. He passes the ball extremely well, and that combination, Pugh to Lance, has been effective all season and for the last few seasons.
John Torrey Reese with the call and the foul on Shad Kramer. To make sure that JT's whistle was working.
Yeah, there you go.
I had the pleasure of coaching John Torrey at St. Pete's, and you talk about a class young man, and it's just to see what he has grown into and his son, and it's just I'm not surprised.
Well, he was a very good player, a very good coach at Mansfield Senior, and it's great that he wants to stay in the game right now as a basketball official.
Kramer at the other end lays it up. So the Tiger from Mansfield Senior makes the score 72-58.
I think you had told me earlier that Mansfield Senior has more MVPs of this game than any other school. Is that correct?
They do. They have 12.
Well, they obviously have put out some great basketball players, so that doesn't surprise me.
Kurtz from the corner, and that one's short.
Uh-oh.
There we get another dunk.
Lance off the backboard to Pugh. I bet you they've done that before.
They probably have. Making the score 72-60, a 12-point ball game, and we talked about this, the South making a little bit of a run here.
Yeah, that can very easily happen. They're obviously loaded with scores.
Cody Lance hitting a few threes at the beginning of the second half, and Pugh there with the highlight dunk. Shaver inside to Lamoureux, spins with the lefty.
That was a nice move inside. Lamoureux is quite the athlete. I've been impressed. First time I've seen him play. Very good athlete.
And Kramer misses a layup at the other end. Up ahead to Lamoureux. And Lamoureux thought about the dunk, but T.J. Pugh was bearing down on him, and Pugh ends up getting the defensive play. And White was going to lob it up to Cody Lance. A little miscommunication.
Yeah, maybe not the best lob right there. But
T.J. Pugh clears the miss. 3 in the air by Sauter, doesn't go. 15:52 to go in the second half. The North with a 14-point lead.
Here we go.
Lamoureux takes it right out of the hands of T.J. Pugh.
He didn't think anybody was behind him. And the lead is back to 16 again.
And Pugh with a bucket and a foul. He's helped up by Lamoureux, and he gets a little bit of revenge at the other end.
And that's a move that we saw in the Lima Shawnee, where he was able to get to the rim, take some contact from some very good, very big athletes, score, and go to the free throw line.
Pugh makes a free throw, and there are 5 more red jerseys coming back into the game for the South.
Again, because there's so many players, it's tough for these kids to get any real rhythm because you're going to play, 3, 4, 5 minutes, and then you're going to come out and get subbed. So it's not like where during the regular season where you might be playing out of a 32-minute game, you might be playing 29, 30, maybe even 32 minutes.
Shaver launches another 3. The second one drops, and the lead is pushed back to 16.
Yeah, we've certainly seen that in his career.
Member of that 1,000-point club. Blue ball from the baseline doesn't go. D'Angelo Chapman with an offensive rebound goes out of bounds, and it's right into the hands of Chase Walker. 14:55 to go in the second half. The North with a 79-63 lead. We'll take a break, and we'll be back right after this.
No paywalls, just live sports. Exclusively on the OH Report.
Well, it's not a sporting event without Neil Diamond and Sweet Caroline.
There you go.
I don't know about Greg Collins' version of it, but it's about as popular as a defensive stop in this game.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Well, unless it's a block shot.
Are you talking about really the song, or are you talking about my rendition?
Your rendition.
Oh, I understand. I understand.
Although I will say there is something spectacular about a block shot. But
well, there you go. There you go.
North with a 79-63 lead. Lamoureux inside, kicks it out. And a three in the air by Chase Walker doesn't go.
Since the opening play, we have not seen the North run that what they call slice, the lob play. Hopefully they'll get back to it and try it.
The layup missed by Evan Gibbs of Crestview, and here comes the South. Gessner pulls up for three.
I'm sure he's done that a few times at Loudonville. Gessner is a young man that shot 94% from the free throw line. And, you know, Brian, we did a lot of games this year. How often did we talk about teams and their free throw shooting just killing them?
And not even having players consistently in the 70% range,
exactly.
Let alone 90.
And so often it was their leading scorer that shoots very well from the perimeter, except at the free throw line.
It seems to be a lost art, much to the chagrin of many coaches. See Jacob Gessner with the steal. And Logan Cyphers for three.
Now, unfortunately, he probably won't go to the free throw line tonight, as we've had 2 team fouls.
Shaver with another off-balance three. And the North is going to get some more players into the lineup. That was a tough shot by Shaver.
And again, you know, he talked about it, but, you know, the hard work that he's put in, those are shots that he could make.
82-66. Grant Hyatt back into the lineup for the South. Then blue ball from Clear Fork misfires, and a rebound down to Cooper Keene from Northmore.
I always have felt it's a benefit when you can get your bigs, and Cooper Keene I consider her a big, to be able to get a rebound and push it. A la Magic Johnson was so good at that. You know, it can get your team out and running the lane so quick.
Noblet at the line, who had 17 points in the first half. 1 for 2 from behind the three-point line.
Crestline is an example of, you know, I wish you and I could have gotten out and seen so many of these other teams play. We saw many of them, but not all of them. And Crestline is one. We didn't get to see Ontario until the tournament time. Wish we could have gotten out and seen more teams.
Blue ball's fouled under the basket. Well, we'll have to get on our boss next year and
there
have
you go.
him
We got to
cast the net a little wider.
There you go. We got to get into Ontario. We got to get into Shelby.
Clear Fork's Ben Blue Ball at the line.
Got to get, as Adam says, we got to get into Lexington right here. That'd be a short drive for me. So
Be a short drive for me right down the road in Mount Gilead. South with an 84-68 lead. Or North with that lead, excuse me. The South made a run there for a while at the beginning of the half. And the South being pushed there by Hyatt. Nice look up ahead to Jacob Gessner from Loudonville.
And we've talked about, but that's, Hyatt, besides his scoring, is a very good passer.
Long three in the air.
Luke Pruitt with a deep, deep three.
Pushes the lead back to 17. Hyatt with the left hand, can't get it to go, but Blue Ball with the offensive rebound. That's Chapman in the lane. D'Angelo Chapman from Mansfield Senior.
That was a tough jump shot from 10 feet. He had a hand in his face, had to adjust his shot a little bit.
Brady Tedrow from the elbow, and there's Chapman with the rebound.
And we had senior high a lot. Chapman's a good athlete.
Hyatt for three. And Blue Ball puts it back up and in. And the lead down to 13. They just can't get to that 10-point mark.
Right.
Noblet spins in the lane, and Chapman with another rebound.
Yeah, they're on a little bit of a run right now.
And that's a foul on Brady Tedrow from Clear Fork.
Now, Brady is a, 2 years All-Ohio football player, so he's not afraid of a little contact in there.
No, not at all.
Nice inbounds play. Nice pass, nice cut.
Nice look inside to Blue Ball, and it's an 11-point lead for the North. Pruitt off balance, and that's swatted away by Blue Ball, and here comes Hyatt. And Hyatt lays it up and in, and we're now at a 9-point deficit. And here comes substitutions for both sides.
Something you won't see during the regular season. Your team on a run, so you take those kids out.
That's kind of counterintuitive to what you would do as a coach.
Yeah. We'd have the fans up here booing if it was regular season.
South has pulled to within 9, 87-78. Colton Kurtz in the lane. And the ball batted around, and it goes right into the arms of Evan Hamilton. And Lamoureux with another offensive rebound. So the North with 3 opportunities.
A lid right now on the basket for the North.
Zach McChrystal drives. He's fouled, and he'll go to the line. McChrystal, one of 3 Ontario Warriors selected to play in this year's game, joining Colton Kurtz and Griffin Shaver.
Now, we've already talked about Jalen Reese as one of the officials, and his father, JT. Dana Shoulders, who called that foul right there, is obviously was a very good player, coach, and has been in officiating for many years right now. And, he's also an exceptional golfer. I think I read he's a 3 handicap.
That's what I hear.
So he'd be on my team if we're going to go out and play a little money match.
So 2 of these officials with direct ties to St. Peter's, and John Torrey and Dana. I guess you could pull Jalen into that conversation by family, but
I think he's a TY Tiger.
He is.
And I mentioned his football and, of course, his basketball. He was also a baseball player at senior high. So he did it all. And, again, it's good to get these young people. JT has just been in it for a few years. It's good to get these young people into officiating as there is a shortage all around Ohio. And I understand why. It's a difficult job. Tonight you're not going to get much grief, but during the regular season, that's all you're going to get is grief from the stands and also from the coaches.
We're going to go back down courtside. Travis Berardi standing by with Cody Lance of Shelby.
I'm now joined by Shelby's Cody Lance. First, I got to talk about the nice little dish, the oop, the TJ Pugh. Was that planned or was that just mid-play?
I mean, that was mid-play, but we've definitely worked on it at practice, during like Shelby practice and stuff. We just never got a chance during our game. So I thought that was the perfect chance, and we got it.
Just overall, the Shelby boys, how do you think you guys have been playing so far tonight?
I mean, TJ and Vern have had a great game. I had a rough first half, but it's definitely been a lot better the second half. I think we're playing great.
You guys are chipping your way. You're only down 8 now. What do you guys need to do in the last 9 minutes to take the lead or maybe force some overtime here?
Definitely get rebounds, and then make our easy shots.
All right, Cody, good luck the rest of the way. Back up to you, boys.
Thanks a lot, Travis. Thanks a lot, Cody.
Now, Brian, that was a great interview. Did you see the split screen that we had
Yeah,
right there? I'm
I'll
telling
tell
you
you
right
what,
now.
Adam Thompson does not get enough love here.
He's our all-star, isn't he?
He is our all-star. Absolutely. You don't have to be able to hit threes to be an all-star.
You're right. You're right. He's my vote for MVP for what he's done. The graphics alone, I thought, put him in the lead, and that maybe just finalized it right there. I thought I had a shot, but I guess I'm out now.
But the graphics are his slam dunks.
Well, they are. They are.
He's turning red, and he's probably wishing we'd shut up now.
Well, when I first got here, I said I saw the graphics on the 1,000-point scores. I thought those were outstanding. And he had to follow up by saying, that only took me 5 minutes.
No, only 5 minutes.
I was like, come on.
As all the great artists will say.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was nothing. That was nothing.
Colton Kurtz with a layup for the North, and the lead is back to 12. Rose left wide open for 3.
He probably was never that wide open the entire season.
And the South has pulled back to within 9, and it could be a lot closer after a layup. And it's going to be a 7-point ball game thanks to Zach McChrystal.
And it looks like they're giving a little full court pressure, and that's what we want, a close game at the end where the juices start coming.
That almost looked like goaltending, but it didn't drop in.
I tell you, Lamoureux has quick ups. He's an athlete.
McChrystal for 3. And the ball almost batted away from Lamoureux, who pushes to the other end. And up ahead to Hamilton. Another 3 in the air, and this one is good by Austin Adelman of Willard. And the lead back to 10, just like that. And a foul called as Zach McChrystal was going to the rim, and he'll go to the line.
Well, let me have a second here to talk about it. In my opinion, you tell me if I'm missing some teams, and teams that I thought in our area that just had great seasons. Shelby 20-4.
Yep.
Lucas 19-8. Willard 19-6. And of course Colonel Crawford 23-1. Those 4. We had some other really good seasons, but those 4 schools I thought just outstanding basketball seasons.
And I think maybe the biggest surprise of that group, because of circumstances that had to be dealt with, was the Lucas situation. And Taylor Eisman, I think, did an outstanding job when you lose a player like Riley Gossam in the offseason, the way they did with the injury. And
as well as graduation.
Of players that they lost the year before. And what he was able to do with that team. We saw them early in the season as they played Galleon, and they looked okay.
Right.
But you could tell that they really hadn't reached their peak, and he really did an outstanding job of blending that team. And then obviously, as you saw what they did in the tournament,
right.
It was with probably his best coaching job of his career.
Well, it might have been. I'll tell you, winning the conference was amazing. But you're right. That tournament run really surprised me. They went through some very good basketball teams to get there. One of them being South Central, who I put down as a team that had a really, really good season.
Evan Hamilton with a layup for the North. And it's now 103-93, the lead back to 10. Yeah, the Cubs did it really with defense because they did not have other than Sauter, they really did not have a quote-unquote scorer.
Now, that was a deep shot by Kurtz. Yeah, that's why I think it was it Ethan Sauter earlier in the game said in his interview, yeah, it's kind of fun to get out here and just run up and down and shoot it. That's not how we were able to be successful this year.
Well, but they had to be structured. They played within their limitations, and they got the most out of their personnel. 3 in the air by Tyler Rose goes, and it's now a 103-96 deficit. Getting a little bit closer.
It is, and I think when I said the over and under was 120, I think we should pick the over.
Lamoureux, though, making a case for MVP here in the second half. He has really been unstoppable inside. Fultz is going to get fouled as the Spartan will go to the line. Gavin Fultz.
That was smart. Had the ball about 5 feet from the basket, but he had a couple of shot blockers around him. So a good head and shoulders fake, ball fake, got the defenders up and able to get up and had a chance for a three-point play. Now a chance for some free throws.
I have to wonder if Gavin at some point got into the ear of Dana Shoulders and John Torrey Reese and said, hey, we're all Spartans here. You got to watch out for me.
Show me some love. There you go.
4:56 to go, and it's a 105-97 lead as the North really has led from pretty much the beginning of this ball game, and they got up by as many, about 20 at one point.
Right.
But the South has made it interesting, and they have cut the deficit now down to 8.
But if you're Coach Loney, you got to be thinking this is the first time where with 5 minutes to go in the game, 4:56 here, his team has 97 points and they're behind. That doesn't happen very often in high school basketball. But let me also give a shout-out, though, to Todd Karras, his assistant, longtime basketball coach, has been in a couple of schools. And, these guys have had great success this year.
We're going to send it back down courtside to Travis Berardi. He's got Cooper Keene from Northmore.
Back here with Northmore's Cooper Keene, who used the glass. Banks were open earlier. You did that. Was that the plan to bank it in, or was it just a little bit off?
It was a little bit off. I'm not too well of a three-point shooter, so I just pulled it up because I got the board. Every time I get a board, I'm pushing point guard every single time.
Now, a couple guys up in the stands told me that you're going to pull up from half court if you get a chance here in the second half. Is that the case? If you have a chance, you're going to pull up about 10 feet behind the arc?
Oh, yeah, I'll definitely do it. If I get a board, I'm pushing. I'll pull from half court if I have to.
All right.
It depends what the lead's like, though.
I got you. I know they're with a little bit of a comeback, but what do you guys got to do to hold them off in the last 4:42?
We got to actually start playing defense. The game's a little bit slower because we don't play defense. So everybody's just pushing and they're just scoring as fast as they can. So we just got to keep a 10-point lead. Right now it's at 5. So.
Well, we look forward to that half-court shot.
All right.
Back to you guys.
We have to actually start playing defense. What every coach wants to hear.
Yeah, we'll see if that actually happens. But the young man is too honest. I mean, you're supposed to say, oh, yeah, I called bank. You didn't hear it, Travis? I called bank before I shot it. You got to learn how to play the game sometimes.
It's a 3-point ball game. The South, after a layup by T.J. Pugh, has made it a 105-102 ball game. Riley Gossam up ahead to Pugh. And he tried to alley-oop to his teammate, Cody Lance, and could not get it to go. And Walker misses an easy one, but Noblet is there for the offensive putback, and that pushes the lead back to 5.
Riley might be moving a little bit better. than he was during tournament time, but he's still struggling. He's still, as he talked about, he's in PT. He's still got a little pain.
Chad Kramer hits a 3 to make it a 2-point ball game. Ball batted around, and where's it going to go? McChrystal comes in, and Riley Gossam will sit down for the South All-Stars.
Now that we have a close game, I could see this last 3:15 and maybe some bonus play tonight. The competitive juices are going to come forward. Maybe we are going to see a little bit more defense.
Eli White comes up with the turnover.
Chance
Pulls
for the
up
lead.
for the 3. Ball out of bounds, and where's it going to go? It's going to go to the north.
You know, if you're one of the coaches here, North coach, and you want to really upset everybody, you could just kind of hold the ball. Bring the ball out and hold it. And yeah, you might get booed out of the place, but.
Little four corners, little old Dean Smith style.
I don't think Joe Bedingfield, they held the ball against Colonel Crawford in that big tournament win. They obviously played loose and played awfully well that night. That's another game we wish we could have made it to.
TJ Pugh at the other end. And he ties the ball game at 107. Ball knocked away. Up ahead to Lance. Nice hands by Cody Lance, and he's fouled as he was looking for Pugh running down the other side of the floor. So the South will inbound under their own basket. We're tied now at 107, and they're going to send, I think, Lance to the free throw line.
Unbelievable, but we're at the 1-1.
Cody Lance averaged about 16 points a game as a senior, and he'll, as you mentioned earlier, be knee-deep in Bob Evans sausage gravy.
Oh, I'm sure the family, when they go down to visit, they're going to stop in at the Bob Evan Farms.
Oh.
Remember when Shelby played, we talked about Bevo Francis.
Yep.
Scoring over 100 points for Rio Grande a couple of times in his career.
South now with a 1-point lead and a whistle, and now all of a sudden there's a flurry of whistles. You're going to say it's just out of bounds, so the North will retain possession. Noblet just inside the three-point line. Pugh skies for
nice
the rebound
hands.
and loses the handle, and Lamoureux dunks it at the other end.
Again, quick ups. Good defensive play by Noblet. Lamoureux's the beneficiary of it.
Kramer at the other end. And lost the handle, but McChrystal there to bail him out.
McChrystal stays with it and powers it back up for 2.
South back up by 1. So a little excitement here at the end of the 43rd Annual News Journal All-Star Classic.
It looks like defense is getting a little bit better right here.
It is. Tedrow with an elbow jumper. And the North back up by 1. We got a seesaw affair here down the stretch.
Nice.
Lance for 3. And Pugh pokes it out of bounds. It'll go back to the North with 1:19 to go.
There's a replay of Lamoureux with the nice receiving of the pass and going up for the dunk.
Now Shaver will walk it up the floor. Yes, the defensive intensity has picked up here a little bit. And they're going to slow it down.
Oh, my gosh. Never thought we would see this.
Ball out of bounds. It'll stay with the North as we're under a minute. As we take a look at that two-handed dunk by
Yeah, we get to
Lamoureux.
see that again. That impressive.
Chase Walker out of the ball game. And let's see what the North does with a 1-point lead and 50 seconds to go in the ball. Noblet Loses the handle. They're going to call a foul on Eli White, and he doesn't like it.
That was a nice move by Noblet. The closeout, it was a long closeout, and he attacked it off the dribble and looked like he had a lane for a layup.
Noblet to trigger the inbound. David Lamoureux is a nice ball player.
He is. A good athlete, good basketball player.
.23 seconds. And South at some point is going to have to start thinking about fouling if they want to win this. There we go.
Well, they've got a lot of fouls to give. That's the problem. That's only 4 team fouls now, so they're going to have to foul right away. That's 5 team fouls, so.
Foul now on Shad Kramer. So that's team foul number 6.
So they'll go to the 1-on-1 on the next foul, which I'm sure is going to come here real quick. Problem is you've got probably 15 good free throw shooters out there on the team for the North.
Well, and Colton Kurtz is the one who's going to go to the line. So Kurtz, who averaged 10 points and almost 3 rebounds as a senior for Joe Baylog. A 3-year starter for Ontario.
Whoa.
And this fires on that one.
So that gives the South down by 1, 12.9 seconds left.
Now my money's on JT Pugh, as you see Joe Bedingfield.
Well, but Shad Kramer's going to get the ball, and he will dribble penetrate himself. But you're right, TJ Pugh is just so difficult to stop in a 1-on-1, especially in the open court.
9 seconds, and I think we got a timeout that was called by Nathan Loney. With 8 seconds to go, Kramer smiling as he walks over to the huddle. 8.3 seconds to go. The South down by 1 with the ball. So now it'll be interesting as Loney now actually is going to do a little coaching.
Yeah, and maybe a ball screen here, maybe a clear out, but I agree with you. I think now it's going to come inbounds to Pugh and let TJ, because, again, he's so difficult to stop 1-on-1, and if you help, he's a good passer, and he's surrounded by scorers right now.
Well, and I saw before they called the timeout, David Lamoureux was actually guarding TJ Pugh, so that's an interesting defensive matchup.
That is. That's very good athlete on very good athlete.
So we got some drama at the end of the News Journal All-Star Classic. 111-110, the South with the ball, trailing by 1. With 8 seconds to go, McChrystal will inbound. They get it into Kramer. 4 seconds. White loses the handle, off-balance shot doesn't go, and that is going to do it. The North escapes with a 1-point win, 111-110. The North has won 3 in a row in the series, and they've won the 23rd overall. We'll be back to wrap it up. We'll have some post-game interviews right after this. You're watching the 43rd Annual News Journal All-Star Game on OH Report. Well, there's the MVP of the 43rd Annual News Journal All-Star Game. South Central's David Lamoureux, 20 points, 8 rebounds, and he really made his presence felt in the second half.
Yeah, he did. He had a big night, shot the ball well. His shooting percentage is quite good. And, here's a young man that shot 46% from the three-point line this year, averaged 18 points and just under 10 rebounds. So almost a double-double every night. And as we mentioned many times tonight, just an outstanding athlete.
We're going to wrap it up and send it down to David Lamoureux, who is standing by with Brian Skowronski.
We are now joined by our player of the game presented by Mechanics Bank. It is David Lamoureux, the MVP of tonight. Take me through that comeback, and it was, a furious comeback for you guys. You had a big run. What do you think sparked it?
Well, I think we were making some threes, and they came out, and they were up, 10? And got some run-outs, and I was getting a little worried that it was going to be a long game. But thankfully, teammates came in, second group that we had some rotations, and they came in and did really well. So I was proud of my teammates. It was fun.
And then inside of the paint, you were pretty much perfect. I think 10 field goals made all inside of the paint. Tell me about just your play tonight and how you were able to create the advantage pretty much every time you touch the ball down low.
Well, I just wanted to slow down and use my body to get some separation, and then I like to use pump fakes, get people in the air, and then after that just try to be strong and put it up on the box and score it. So thankfully it went in. So.
Talking to a lot of people that were familiar with this game, the South was the heavy favorite. I heard that they were winning a lot of the scrimmages last night. What do you think changed here tonight?
I think we were making shots. We were making shots and they weren't. I mean, they got some really good players, and I think the biggest factor was just us making threes. We were making some really good shots, and Brock from Crestline, he played a really great game, and just want to give the credit to my teammates. So it's good win.
All right, MVP and our player of the game, presented by Mechanics Bank. 20 points, 8 rebounds. David Lamoureux, congratulations, man. Soak it up.
Thank you.
All right, we'll send it back up to Harter and Gregg.
Thanks a lot, Brian, and congratulations, David. 20 points, 8 rebounds, the MVP of the 43rd Annual News Journal All-Star Game. And he's right. When we were at practices this week, a lot of the hype was around the South players and TJ Pugh and all of the offense that the South seemed to have. But as he said, they came out and they hit some shots, and it was interesting to hear the comment that he actually looked to slow things down.
Yeah, but you're right. The South probably dominated in the practices. From what we saw, they looked like they were the better squad. I would have said before the game that I would have taken the South to win tonight, but the North was not to be denied, and Lamoureux, David, just an outstanding basketball game, but an outstanding career. He was a tremendous basketball player for South Central, tremendous football player for South Central. We mentioned many times what an athlete he was, and he showed it again tonight.
TJ Pugh finished the game with 16 points for the South. He led the South in scoring. Tyler Rose had 14, and Grant Hyatt had 11. He had a lot of those in the first half. For the North, they had 2 players over 20, Lamoureux with 20 points and Brock Noblet with 21. So Noblet with the strong first half, and then Lamoureux really carried them over the finish line in the second half. And Evan Hamilton with a nice game as well. He had 18.
Yeah, and it's kind of neat that 3 kids from the smaller of the schools in our area that you and I didn't get a chance to cover this year. We didn't really get a chance to see them play tonight, or until tonight. And again, you just wish I wish I had a chance to see these guys play more this past season.
Well, it is an outstanding opportunity for not just the coaches and the players, but the media to see some of these players that we don't get to see on a regular basis. I misspoke earlier. The South had actually won 2 games in a row in this series, so the North getting this win, that actually snaps 2-game winning streak in this series.
Well, and again, it's not like the olden days when the South was all the players from the southern part of Richland County and Morrow County and maybe Knox County and the North from the northern part, but now it's divided. But
Do you think that levels the playing field a little bit in this?
Well, I guess it does, because you know, you never know from year to year where the strong teams are going to be. You know, there are some teams that struggled this year that are going to be better next year. And, you know, I mentioned the 4 or 5 schools that I thought that had outstanding seasons, but they were playing with some seniors. So they're going to have to rebuild and give a shot to some other clubs, to other programs to get back on track.
So many people that we want to thank for making this a very successful all-star game. First of all, the coaches for the North, head coach Joe Benningfield and head coach Nathan Loney from Shelby for the South, and they were very accommodating during the week, and we had a lot of access to players and the practices, and they were all very open and talked about, you know, their experience in the all-star game, and this was a lot of fun from that point. Thanks to Scott Hamilton at Lexington High School for all the access that we had here. It's been a great experience, and I'm really looking forward to next year when you're going to hear fans in the stands.
Yep.
And when you have dunks, then it's going to get really loud in here. And I know that that's exciting for the players as well. And I'm just glad that this is going to be the last basketball game that we're probably going to play under those conditions.
Yeah, let's hope. And I'll tell you, Brian, I want to thank you for asking me to be a part of this at the beginning of the season. My wife thanks you getting me out of the house, but I thank you for, you know, it was great. I saw more high school basketball this year than I've seen over the years, and, you know, we've been friends for a long, long time, and you're so easy and great to work with that I'm really thankful that I had a shot. And Brian Skowronski and even Adam, our producer here, it was nice
even
working
Adam.
with him. Yeah, it was nice working with him, but the whole crew. But you know, it was a great winter, and you know, these Ohio winters are getting rougher and rougher on this old guy, and I thank you for helping me out through this.
Well, this is going to be the first of hopefully many years that we are going to be covering high school sports here on OH Report. One of the good things to come out of COVID was our ability to cover sports and do things that we wouldn't have had access to in the past with live streaming. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes as the future goes on. Mm-hmm. But I'm really excited and looking forward to next season. And my thanks to you. I'm glad this was a lot of fun for me. You know, you and I worked together in the past, and it was an easy decision to pick you to come along and be my partner, and I was really glad that you said yes, and I'm looking forward to next year, and that's going to be a lot of fun.
I think you're right. I think a lot of people had their eyes open about OH Report, and, you know, the whole crew. Brian Skowronski has put together a crew of very good people, but they're also professionals. They can do their job, and I think it's going to be a big, big success down the road.
And I think we got a future cameraman in the making here as we look down on the floor.
Uh-oh.
People starting to already adjust to life after basketball.
Does he realize that's an expensive piece of equipment right there?
But really, a thanks to Brian and Jory Skowronski for just putting all of this together. A thanks to Adam Thompson and the rest of our crew. It has been a fun football and basketball season, and I'm looking forward to football this fall, and I'm looking forward to having fans in the stands and hearing the cheers. So that is going to get us through a very quiet summer. Thanks to all of you for joining us. It's been an outstanding, outstanding season, and we look forward to many years to come. I don't know if we're going to send it back down to the floor, and we have Travis or Brian down there. Let's see who is going to, well, given that a player has the camera, I don't know who's going to be doing the interview, so let's just send it down courtside. Well, see, you cannot depend on the new help. He gave the camera up and turned and walked away.
Well, you saw he was following some pretty girls, and that's, you know, that's the problem when you get young people involved.
Well, that's going to wrap it up here from Lexington High School as the North wins the 43rd Annual News Journal All-Star Classic. And we are excited to have been able to bring it to you from Lexington High School. I am Brian Harter along with Gregg Collins. The final score tonight, 111 to 109 and 110, excuse me. I'm Brian Harter for Gregg Collins. So long from Lexington High School.